From the dawn of civilization, the figure of the king, the emperor, the pharaoh has held an almost mystical sway over the human imagination. Cloaked in the robes of power, wielding the scepter of authority, these individuals were more than mere mortals. They were living gods, intermediaries between the celestial realms and the earthly plane. Join me now as we journey through the corridors of time, exploring the key dynasties and monarchies that have shaped our world, from the majestic pyramids of Egypt to the opulent palaces of Europe. Our journey begins in the land of the Nile, where the ancient Egyptians crafted a civilization that still captivates us today. Central to their worldview was the pharaoh, a ruler who was both king and god. Believed to be the living embodiment of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship, the pharaoh held absolute power over his people. He was the high priest of every temple, the commander of the armies, the supreme judge, and the guarantor of Ma'at, the cosmic order that held chaos at bay. His every word was law, his every decree divine will. The pharaoh's divine status was reflected in every aspect of Egyptian society. Monumental architecture, from the towering pyramids to the colossal statues that dotted the landscape, served as a constant reminder of his power and majesty. Intricate hieroglyphics carved into temple walls and inscribed on papyrus scrolls proclaimed his lineage, his victories, and his intimate connection to the gods. Even the annual flooding of the Nile, the lifeblood of Egyptian civilization, was seen as a gift from the pharaoh, a testament to his ability to intercede with the divine. Life as a pharaoh, however, was not without its burdens. He was expected to rule with wisdom and justice, to protect his people from enemies both foreign and domestic, and to ensure the prosperity of the land. He was also responsible for maintaining the intricate web of religious rituals and offerings believed to be essential to maintaining cosmic order. Failure to fulfill these duties could have dire consequences, not only for the pharaoh himself but for the entire kingdom. To prepare for the afterlife, where they would continue to rule as gods among gods, the pharaohs constructed elaborate tombs, the most famous of which are the pyramids. These colossal structures, built with astonishing precision and ingenuity, were not merely burial chambers, but rather grand monuments to the pharaoh's power and divinity. Within their depths, he would be surrounded by all the riches and splendor he would need to continue his reign in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed that death was not the end, but rather a transition to another realm, one where the soul would live on for eternity. For the pharaoh, this afterlife was not a realm of passive existence, but rather a continuation of his earthly reign. He would continue to rule over his people, to receive their offerings, and to ensure the stability of the cosmos. To prepare for this momentous journey, the pharaohs spared no expense in constructing their tombs. The most famous of these, of course, are the pyramids, colossal structures that still dominate the Egyptian landscape. Built with astonishing precision and ingenuity, the pyramids were not merely burial chambers, but rather grand monuments to the pharaoh's power and divinity. Within the heart of the pyramid lay the burial chamber, a subterranean palace where the pharaoh's mummified remains would be interred. Surrounding the burial chamber were a series of antechambers and passageways filled with all the treasures and provisions the pharaoh would need for his afterlife. Gold, jewels, furniture, clothing, weapons, and even food and drink were all carefully placed within the tomb, ensuring that the pharaoh would want for nothing in the afterlife. But the pyramids were more than just repositories of wealth. They were also designed to protect the pharaoh's remains from tomb robbers, who were a constant threat in ancient Egypt. False doors, hidden passageways, and elaborate curses were all employed to deter would-be thieves. Despite these precautions, however, many royal tombs were eventually plundered, their treasures scattered to the winds. The pyramids are a testament to the ancient Egyptians' belief in the afterlife and to their unwavering faith in the power of their pharaohs. They are also a reminder of the ephemeral nature of earthly power and the inevitability of death, yet even in death the pharaohs continued to rule, their legacy enshrined in stone and legend. From the sun-drenched deserts of journey now across time and continent, exploring the lives and reigns of kings and queens throughout history. These monarchs, both men and women, wielded immense power, shaping the destinies of nations, leaving an indelible mark on the Some were benevolent rulers, beloved by their subjects, while others were tyrants, feared for their cruelty and ruthlessness, their power of a god.
stemmed from a variety of sources. In many cases, their authority was seen as divinely ordained. They were God's chosen representatives and to defy them was to himself. This divine right to rule gave monarchs immense power, bringing them to command the loyalty of their subjects. In other cases, a monarch's power was based on military might, a strong and decisive ruler, able to lead his armies to victory on the battlefield, command, respect, and fear of foreign and domestic. Such rulers often expanded their kingdoms through conquest, adding to their wealth and power. Economic power was another important source. Monarch's authority, control over trade routes, natural resources, and the flow of money gave kings and queens immense leverage over as well as over other. Wealthy monarchs could afford to build lavish palaces, raise armies, and patronize the arts to enhance their prestige and influence. But power, as they say, corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Throughout history, there have been countless examples of monarchs who abused their authority, leading their people into ruin. Tyranny, oppression, and extravagance were all two hallmarks of absolute rule.
Throughout history, kings and queens have sought to surround themselves with splendor and majesty. Their palaces, often sprawling complexes of courtyards, gardens, and grand halls, served as both homes and symbols of their power. These opulent residences were not merely places of leisure, however, but also centers of government, where the business of ruling was conducted. The walls of royal palaces have witnessed some of the most pivotal events in human history. It was within these gilded cages that wars were declared, treaties signed, and alliances forged. Here, kings and queens held court, receiving dignitaries, dispensing justice, and shaping the destinies of their nations. But royal palaces were also places of intrigue, where secrets were whispered in darkened corridors, and plots hatched behind closed doors. The lives of monarchs were often fraught with danger, and their palaces, for all their grandeur, could be perilous places. Assassins lurked in the shadows, courtiers plotted against one another, and even family members could pose a threat to the throne. To protect themselves from these dangers, kings and queens often incorporated hidden chambers and secret passageways into their palaces. These concealed spaces served as both escape routes and places of refuge in times of trouble. Some were used to store valuables, while others were reserved for more clandestine purposes. The discovery of a hidden chamber within a royal palace is always an exciting event for historians and archaeologists. These forgotten spaces offer a tantalizing glimpse into the private lives of monarchs, revealing their secrets, their fears, and their desires. The lives of kings and queens have always held a particular fascination for us. Perhaps it is the allure of power, the glimpse into a world of privilege and intrigue, or simply the timeless appeal of a good story. Whatever the reason, royal history is replete with tales of love and loss, of betrayal and revenge, of ambition and despair. Scandals in particular have a way of capturing our imaginations. From illicit affairs and illegitimate children to accusations of murder and treason, the history of monarchy is littered with stories that would make even the most seasoned gossip columnist blush. One of the most enduring themes in royal scandal is that of forbidden love. Kings and queens, for all their power, were often bound by duty and tradition when it came to matters of the heart. Marriages were often arranged for political expediency rather than love, and those who dared to follow their hearts often paid a heavy price. The consequences of royal infidelity could be severe. Scandals had the power to topple dynasties, spark wars, and irrevocably tarnish the reputations of even the most powerful monarchs. And yet, despite the risks, kings and queens continued to succumb to temptation, proving that even those born to rule are not immune to the complexities of the human heart. In the annals of royal history, there are countless examples of scandals that rocked kingdoms and captivated the world. These tales of love, betrayal, and intrigue serve as a reminder that behind the crowns and the scepters, kings and queens were ultimately human, flawed and vulnerable like the rest of us. From the towering pyramids of Egypt to the opulent palaces of Europe, we've journeyed through time. Exploring the fascinating world of royalty, we've delved into the lives of pharaohs and kings, queens and emperors, uncovering the secrets and scandals that have shaped their reigns. If you've enjoyed this glimpse into the past, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating historical content. In the weeks to come, we'll be exploring other captivating chapters of history, from the rise and fall of empires to the lives of ordinary people who lived through extraordinary times. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the flame of curiosity burning bright.